Hi everybody, this is section 3.5 and we are learning how to construct parallel lines. So there are many ways to construct parallel lines. The first ways that I'm going to talk about is by using the properties that we learned in the parallel lines conjecture in the previous video lesson. So to construct parallel lines, we can duplicate corresponding angles, or we can duplicate alternate interior angles, or we can duplicate alternate exterior angles. Now, if you're not duplicating one of those sets of angles, the only other way to construct parallel lines, at least the only other way that we're going to talk about to construct parallel lines, is to construct two perpendiculars to the same line. Now, we're going to go through each of these four methods for constructing parallel lines, so let's get started. So on this slide, we are constructing parallel lines by duplicating corresponding angles. And I've already listed 6 steps. These are basically the 6 steps that I'm going to go through to construct these parallel lines. So I'm going to start with a line and a point not on the line. So there's my line, and I'm going to start with this point that's not on the line. Next, I'm going to draw a transversal through the point and the line. Now I'm going to strike an arc through the angle. So I'm going to pull up my compass here. I'm going to take my compass and put it on this vertex. And notice I have 4 different angles here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can choose any of those 4 angles to be the angle that I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to choose this angle here. So I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to put it on that vertex. I'm going to extend it out, and I'm going to strike an arc through that angle right there. Now I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to go up to the point that's not on the line, and I'm going to strike that same arc in the same general location. So what I mean by that is this angle that we are duplicating is, I would say, the bottom right. Like if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, I call this the bottom right angle, right? That's sort of just my general explanation for its location. So I'm going to strike the same arc in this bottom right corner. As you know, I'm sort of visualizing a parallel line being there already. So I'm striking that arc in the same general location. Now I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to measure the opening of this angle, just like as if I were duplicating an angle normally. So I'm going to extend this out to about right there. That looks about right. And now I'm going to bring my compass up here. I'm going to put it on the intersection of the arc and the transversal, and I'm going to strike a new arc. Now I know that it's the intersection of those 2 arcs and the point that I started with that my parallel line will go through. So I can draw my parallel line in, and there I've constructed parallel lines by duplicating corresponding angles. Okay, the next one is constructing parallel lines by duplicating alternate interior angles. So I'm going to start with a line, and again a point not on the line. I'm going to draw in a transversal. So I have my transversal, and now I'm going to bring up my compass, and I'm going to strike an arc through the angle. But now I'm talking about alternate interior angles. So out of the 4 angles that I have here, I can only either use angle 1 or angle 2, because those will be interior angles to my parallel lines. So I'm going to choose to use angle 1's location. So, bring my compass over here, put it on the vertex, I'm going to extend it out, and I'm going to strike an arc through that angle. Now I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to bring it up here to the point, and I'm going to strike the same arc through the location of the alternate interior angle. So that'll be in that general location. Now I'll come down here and I'll measure the opening of this angle. That's probably as good as I'm going to get with the smartboard. So I put my compass on the point and, oh no, sorry, not on the point, on the intersection of the arc and the transversal, and I strike the second arc. Now I know that I can connect the point and those intersecting arcs for my parallel line. And there's my parallel line constructed by duplicating alternate interior angles. So now the third method. We're going to construct parallel lines by duplicating alternate exterior angles. So I again start with a line and a point not on the line. And I draw in my transversal. Now I get my compass. And I'm going to duplicate one of the alternate exterior angles. So this time, out of the 4 angles, I can either duplicate angle 3 or angle 4 because those are the exterior angles. So I'm going to choose to duplicate angle 3. So take my compass, bring it down here, and I strike an arc through that angle. Bring my compass up to my point, and I'm going to strike that same arc in the location of the alternate exterior angle, which will be up here. Now I come down, and I have to measure the opening of this angle. And that's probably as good as I'm going to get with the smartboard. And now, from that intersection of the arc and the transversal, I'm going to strike my second arc, and it'll be the intersection of those 2 arcs with the point that gives me my parallel line. So there's the construction of parallel lines by duplicating alternate exterior angles. And then our last method is to construct parallel lines by constructing 2 perpendiculars to the same line. So I start with the line, and now things are a little bit different. I'm going to pick 2 points on this line to construct perpendiculars through. So now I get my compass, and I construct a perpendicular to a line through a point on the line. So I strike these arcs on both sides. Bring my compass over here. I'm going to extend this a little bit more. Strike an arc there. Bring this over. This is a construction that we previously learned to do, so I'm not talking through every single step. Now I can draw my line through my point and my intersecting arcs. So there is 1 perpendicular. Now I need to do the same thing over here. Not saying much because, again, this is a construction that we previously learned. Constructing a perpendicular to a line through a point on the line. And I finish by drawing in my perpendicular. And now I've constructed two parallel lines by constructing two perpendiculars to the same line. And of course, what you notice now is the line that I started with, this line down here, actually ends up being the transversal. And it's the two perpendiculars that are the parallel lines.